would think that every single news outlet in the US would be reporting that an entire country has been shut down. Nothing, not a single word about the fact that Italy has been completely shut down. Everything has come to a standstill because they are fed up that no one is doing anything about Gaza. The EU specifically, they have decided that they are going to come out. Workers, unions, locals, the police, the dock workers, ports have been shut down, schools have been shut down, government offices shut down, and no one is reporting it. It's not on CNN. It's not on Yahoo. Social media is the only place where you are seeing that information. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is crazy, and it says a lot. They don't want us to know this information, but yeah, Italy completely at a standstill. The largest Gaza protest by any country to this point, and they are calling it out for what it is. They are like, we are not in support of this genocide, because that's exactly what it is. And I know a lot of people are afraid to say they don't want their account to be banned. I don't give a crap, because it's wrong. It is wrong on so many levels. But yeah, it's a shut down. Go look it up.
These are all compliance tests. With the recent news that just came out over there in the UK regarding the mandate of this digital ID, if you want to work, if you want to rent, if you want to own, if anything, you want to be a citizen over there, you got to have digital ID. A lot of people are like, yo, this is going to come over to America, which obviously, yes, it is. These are compliance tests. You have a lot of folks out here expressing their opinion. They're like, look, I'm not doing that. You can't get me to do that. And that all sounds great. That all sounds nifty. But let me ask you a question. How many people complied in 2020? I'll give you some time to answer that. Listen, I say this because it's true. It gets real when you can't put food on the table. It gets real when you can't pay your bills. It gets really real when you can't handle business. That's what this is all boiling down to. Ultimately, guys, this is why the Bible says no man will be able to buy or sell. It's not as simple as just going to a grocery store or selling off like a garage sale. No, it's work. It's business. It's providing. It's taking care of the ones you love. It's keeping a roof over the ones that you love's head. It's keeping clothes on your back. It gets real bad, and it will push people into caveman ages if they do not comply with the mandates and the implementation. I only say this so that it could wake some of us up to the reality of the situation. Let's make preparations. Let's be ready to adapt to any given situation. Remember, guys, they need us in scarcity. They need you in scarcity. They need you dependent. So think on that. I'm not trying to scare you, but I want you to be aware of the tactics that are at play here. The Bible says to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. We got to use wisdom. They're using wisdom, and that's how they're able to run things behind the scenes. We got to be smart as well and tap into the mind of God so that he can take care of us and provide for us. This reminds me of Joseph when he advised the Pharaoh that you should prepare for this famine by doing X, Y, and Z. So let us look at it through that same lens and be ready for this digital ID to come over here in the United States. God bless you.
Hello boys, welcome to COVID 2.0. Watch this next clip.
I'm announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Then have a watch of this absolute freak go at it as well.
The benefits are clear. Digital ID will make our interactions with each other and with the state faster, cheaper, and more reliable. Will allow us to judge who has a right to be in our country and who doesn't, and so solves one of the major challenges of immigration.
I cannot believe this dweeb is still kicking about. It's clearly not about immigration, is it? And then again, immigration wasn't the problem. It was illegal migration. All you had to do to fix that was see if you've got a passport or a visa. If you don't, deport. The whole public knew about the digital ID before all this shit came out. We already knew what was coming. Create a problem, plug a solution, clearly an agenda behind it. Please watch the next clip because this is what's coming next.
The State Bank of Vietnam, SBV, just closed 43% of all bank accounts in Vietnam because they hadn't complied with biometric authentication, in other words, digital IDs.
So if you're one of them people that calls everyone a conspiracy theorist even during COVID on, even question anything, or if you're one of them people that really doesn't even say anything or, it doesn't affect me, not in my backyard, and you don't say anything about it, then you're an idiot. This will affect everyone in the country, okay? okay, your life will be ruined if you don't get this digital ID. Just like everyone during COVID that were forced to get a vaccine to keep the job. I know people personally that had their lives ruined because of COVID. The less power these people have, the smaller the government, the better. Look at history, please. These people are just straight up liars. You cannot believe anything they say.
One thing that they don't teach you in school is that we all have an electronic fingerprint. Every time you like a post, all your social media profiles, WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, every single thing is watched and monitored. Now, because of the Patriot Act after 9/11, if they deem us as terrorists, which they can make any excuse in the world to spy on your devices, then they can spy on your devices. But I want to tell you a story. A few years back, 3 years ago, I ran into a lady in the middle of the woods in Phoenix when I was camping. It had just got done raining, there was mud everywhere, and she was wearing a white dress, some shoes, and had a dog. And naturally, she asked me what I'm doing there. I said, well, I'm here camping and I'm here to break the matrix. She says, oh, and it was like she's been waiting to tell somebody this her entire life. And she says, I used to work for the federal government, undercover. And she said, have you ever seen the movie Enemy of the State? And I said, yes, with Will Smith and Gene Hackman. And she said, we've been doing that since the 1940s. You should see what we can do now to spy on you. And I took that as a sign of her trying to get a message to me to let you guys know that there's no such thing as privacy. In this game, what happens is you like things, you post things, you do searches, is the earth flat, all these other things. They start to see and put you in a profile or a category. And when you reach high enough of a tier, that's when you might get visited in real life. Again, these aren't things to fear, but they can see when somebody is going through an awakening or starting to question their reality. The reason that they're letting us roam free, and they're trying to slow it down with bad food, bad water, bad air, is because they need us, because they need us to help them escape out of this reality too. Influencers, politicians, celebrities are paid by the federal government whether they know it or not. They let you get so big and so high. But if you promoted a message of peace like Bob Marley, ooh, we don't want that togetherness or unity. It's nothing to fear. It's understanding that if you want to go next level, the Draconians, the Archons, whatever you want to call them, the Nagas run this 3D reality. There's layer and layer and layer, but on the highest timeline, we created this reality. This whole program and system feeds off energy. It doesn't matter if you're left or right or pro this or pro that. They need us at each other's throats. It generates energy. That's the real secret to this matrix.
The system automatically delete.
Is it just sex offenders you're looking at?
Stay where you are! Bring those to the station! Get on the f***ing floor now!
Sorry, what is this live facial recognition for?
What is it?
Yeah, what is it for? Yes.
Essentially, it's to scan people on the street to make sure that if anyone who's got comes to police notice or who's wanted or has got caught in condition, we can engage with them, have a chat with them, and make sure that they're wanted and they get arrested.
They get arrested.
Will delete any information that is not a match on our system.
Oh, okay, go away.
So if you search, for example, you walked in front of the camera, it didn't pick you up. It means you're not wanted, you're not sex offender or anything like that. The system automatically delete.
Is it just sex offenders you're looking after?
Stay where you are! Bring those to the station! Get on the fucking floor now! You're under arrest. I'm worried for the safety.
Sorry, yes.
Breaking news, we are being warned. Trump just sounded the alarm, saying that the U.S. is allegedly supposed to be going to war on U.S. soil, and that cities will be targeted. So, if that isn't more alarming, as in we aren't already crashing as a civilization, seeing as Africa just took back power with their AfroNet, 1.4 billion people logging offline. Yeah, it's definitely the apocalypse. We're definitely in the end times. It's definitely time to cross your T's and dot your I's. And let's not forget to mention the biblical blood moon that just passed yesterday. Get right.
This is a presidential memorandum that directs your Attorney General and your U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Judge Jeanine Pirro, to fully implement the death penalty here in Washington, D.C., where the evidence and facts of a case indicate that the death penalty should be used.
Okay? Everybody understand? Death penalty in Washington. You kill somebody, or if you kill a police officer, law enforcement officer, death penalty.
Digital IDs must be accepted by U.S. citizens by 2028 or risk exclusion from society. I think that's what the Bible warns about. You will neither be able to buy or sell without the mark.
Islam, Shalom, Hola, Aloha, Bonjour, Osio, Assalamu Alaikum, Konnichiwa. This your brother, Zach Bay, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live in full effect. Like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell down below so you can be notified whenever I'm dropping some new content. Leave a comment and interact with me. Thank you, I really do appreciate your viewership. Let's jump into another one. Strange events, current events. It's always something going on in the world. And hopefully you enjoyed those clips at the beginning. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think could be happening right now. All right, so I made a video before talking about the digital IDs in a previous video, right? They rolled out the digital IDs. It's weird that right around the same time that happened, Trump announced that it was going to be this huge meeting, military meeting, all right? That happened on Tuesday. The first one, historical military meeting of its kind for the War Department. And the War Department is what the Defense Department used to be called before, right? And allegedly it switched back from the Department of Defense to the War Department. But I feel like, or I believe, that could have something to do with what's going on, the upheavals happening overseas, right? We know about the revolution that happened in Indonesia and Nepal, how a lot of stuff is going on, overseas in the UK, a lot of protests. Italy, France is really having a hard time at it. A lot of the European countries are really shaking right now. Africa has done something really big, pulling a lot of the citizens back from the internet. Burkina Faso, they've been doing their thing. Ibrahim Touré, the president over there, been doing his thing, and leading the way. The BRICS nations, they're coming together. That currency backed by gold, it's not a coincidence that these digital IDs can easily lead to the digital currency for the central banks, right? Especially since the BRICS nations are doing the gold-backed currency, right? Trust me, it's not a coincidence, fam. It's all connected. So this military base, the military base that it happened is in Northern Virginia, in Quantico. But this meeting, all the generals from overseas, all over the world, all the admirals, from 5-star generals down to 3-star generals, all these commanders are having this historic meeting, all right, with the president. Who knows exactly what they're talking about? It's kind of vague what was discussed, but I believe it definitely has something to do with the rollout of the digital IDs and the potential of the world currency changing. All right. So if the US dollar gets devalued so far that it's no longer the world reserve currency, the next switch that the central banks would have to do logically would be switching over. All right, getting rid of all the debt that the nations that have been plundered into debt, plunged into debt, right? That can never be repaid. All right, so here in the U.S., the United States, the citizens, all right, the citizenry, they're being used. The taxpayers are being used to pay off this debt that can never truly be repaid. Right, the national debt just keeps going up. The government shut down. Come on, fam. That should let you know the government shut down. All right, it has to do a lot what's going on on the geopolitical stage. All right, internationally, worldwide. There's a reason why they're not showing those protests on the news here. All right, they're not showing those revolutionary protests all over the news. CNN, Fox, ABC, all these different news networks and stations is not being broadcast like that. They don't want us to get, any ideas. But in the previous video, there's a lot of people who are looking toward us here in the U.S. because we still have our Second Amendment right, fam. If things do get bad and the U.S., this military meeting could potentially be preparing for an upheaval here on the U.S. soil, right? If Trump hinted at battles being fought here in the U.S. soil, and then we know over the last few years there has been a lot of military drills that has been going on in the cities. All right, anybody who's locked in to any type of military personnel, right? Anybody who has family, active duty and stuff like that, they know that a lot of drills have been done in the last few years, flying in urban areas, right? Low flying helicopters, doing propelling, with ropes and things like that, inside of the city limits, right? Flying low. So it's been a lot of those drills been going on lately, and a lot of the door-to-door or urban warfare has been going on, going from home to home, right? Household to household, and removing the occupants, right? So besides that, the military shutdown, it's really been a lot going on, on the world stage. Prepare. They're gonna eventually try to push this digital ID here. They're gonna try to make it convenient, just like during the C-19 scares. That they're gonna get your favorite celebrities, favorite influencers, favorite movie stars and actors and actresses to peddle these ideas of how convenient it is, right? How convenient it is. I don't have to carry my wallet anymore. I don't have to carry my ID card. I don't have to carry my key fob. They're going to try to make it seem like it's convenient when really it's just a form of control, right? They can lock you out. They can decide where you can spend those funds at. They can tax you. They can fine you. Any kind of fees can automatically be taken out. They can lock you out of your car. They can make sure that you can't buy gasoline or you can't buy anything inside or outside of a certain limit, right, of your travel. So if everything is on there, that is one of the most ultimate forms of control that we could willingly give up to them, fam. So it's odd that a lot of this is happening when, of course, I was talking about how the sun, right, is heating up, and these solar flares could potentially be causing upgrades in the DNA, and conversely, it could be also causing certain people to degenerate, certain people who cannot tolerate the solar radiation, the cosmic rays, the gamma rays and waves, coming from the cosmos, right? So it'll cause some to evolve, and it might cause some to devolve and degrade. So just keep that in mind. I'm also show some videos at the end. This is your brother Zach Bay. It's a lot of interesting stuff, strange stuff going on in the world. Let me know how I'm doing down below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. Peace.
They want to get you, they're going to get you. Now they're going to make a new justice system for your safety. We're going to involve digital IDs and Face ID and all these things that we talked about. And that's where the slavery comes. Anybody who doesn't play nice in society gets excluded and moved to jail. But jail is just society with more rules. I'm in charge of England, and I've made new rules for my society that nobody wants to play by. Nobody likes the migrants. Nobody likes the government. Nobody likes the taxes. So what's the answer to this? The answer is we put everyone in a digital jail so we can control the where, when, how, and why. So if they say things we don't like, we can stop them from using public transport. We can stop them from flying. I thought the NHS was free for everybody. The NHS is free if you have a digital ID. So they're going to put us all into one big jail, control everything, and say, look, we fixed crime. Well, that's because we're all in jail.
So I'm seeing a lot of like police brutality videos coming across my feed, and just violence against my people. It seems like it's on the rise, okay? And I want to tell our people, we got to be extremely careful during these times. A, with our people, and B, with all these other people. Because, baby, that sun tearing them up, okay? So let me break down to y'all what is going on. So, boom. That sun up there in the sky is spewing out a lot of solar radiation, right? And certain beings on this planet cannot absorb this radiation. It's breaking everything down to its simplest form, right? So that means Caucasian people, y'all are going to be broken down basically into that Neanderthal state again, right? The animalistic, primitive type of being. That is why the violence is increasing. They're losing control. Their body is fighting for control. Their cells are breaking down. Their cells don't know what the fuck to do, okay? So, what do animals do? They react. They don't think, they just react. They get violent. They get territorial, and we can see that happening, right? The violence is increasing. We have to be careful. We have to be careful. These people are extremely dangerous to be around. They're very dangerous. So we got to stop recording and start fighting the fuck back. Because I just seen this video of this teenager and this minor. He out there selling roses, and the officer like manhandled him. And y'all sitting there recording and not doing anything. And that's exactly why that's the youth that we don't respect y'all, because of shit like that. Y'all supposed to be our protectors, but y'all sitting around recording this happen and not jumping the fuck on them officers. Okay? That's ridiculous. Their genetics are being broken down, okay? And they already mixed with a bunch of shit, so their body confused. Their bodies are confused. That solar radiation is causing genes to mutate, okay? So they literally fried up here. They're becoming more and more primitive. They can't hide it anymore, y'all. We have to be careful, and we got to start fighting back. We got to start letting them know, hey, you not finna put your hands on my woman. You not putting your hands on my man. You not putting your hands on my children, okay? All that pussy shit and being weak is out the fucking window now. Come on, y'all. We got to start standing up for ourselves, because I'm tired of seeing this shit. It's like to the point where I no longer have sympathy because we're allowing it to happen.
Y'all, I see why they told these people to stay inside this weekend. Did you guys know that you can get sunburned from your eyes? Check this out, y'all.
Hey. Your eyes out.
So I guess people out partying a little too hard this weekend. And I guess a lot of people found out what the UV index is really about.
This is your daily reminder to wear your sunglasses, because it can get sunburned, your eyes.
Guys, your eyes can get sunburned. Look at them. Look at my eyes. So, lesson learned. You put the SPF on your eyes.
He's talking about put the SPF on the eyes, man. I've never heard of this. The first time I'm ever hearing about your eyes getting sunburned. Apparently it's called photokeratitis. Look at that. Oh my goodness, y'all, look at this.
Nobody told me that you can sunburn your eyelids. Yeah, so I sunburned them. They look worse in person. It looks like I have a fresh set of nice makeup on, I guess. The rest of my face isn't sunburnt.
I sunburned my eyeballs yesterday, and I thought I could wear this ones under these ones, but I can't. These ones are a bit too light and they don't cover the sun. These do, but I don't know if these are UV protected, so had to go and buy some new glasses.
She had to get the Willy Wonkas, y'all. Dang, she had to get the Willy Wonkas. Do you think that's the reason why that glasses was prominent in the Willy Wonka show, promoting children primarily, like it's subconscious programming? You never know.
Yeah, being sunburned sucks, but at least I get a tan. But the shower after the sunburn?
ChatGPT literally suggests that y'all stay out of the sun from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So this is now a sun-up town. Yes, this is now a sun-up town, boy. This is crazy, y'all. Wow, what an interesting time that we live in, y'all. Sunburn in your eyes. But what do you guys think about this, y'all? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shift is here, like we said. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Did you know you can get sunburn on your eyeball? The condition is called photokeratitis, and it's essentially sunburn of your cornea. So if you get redness, blurriness, tearing, photosensitivity, that can mean you've been exposed too much to the sun. Often it comes on 6 to 12 hours later, so you won't notice straight away. The bad news is it's tremendously painful. The good news is it's usually temporary, resolves within several hours to 1 or 2 days. So whenever you're going out in the sun, make sure to wear those UV blocking sunglasses.